Hello, and thank you for joining us today and sharing some exciting news in what is a new chapter for Laridae and for social impact advisors. My name is Jen Haddo. I am the client care manager for Laridae. I'm joined by Sally Fazlel and Danielle Rochlow. Sally is the president of Social Impact Advisors, and Danielle is the CEO of Laridae. So thank you both for jumping in for what should be an exciting conversation today. We're going to share some fun news, some exciting news. So let's begin. Sally, can you share what our news actually is today? Tell us a little bit about what we're excited to announce.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to be here with the two of you and to be announcing that as of June of this year, June 1st of this year, Social Impact Advisors has joined with Laridae. And our two companies, we share many of the same values, the same interests. The ways we work together are very complementary with one another. So it's an exciting day to be sharing this news with all of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining or watching in on the video, because this is our way of kind of bringing you into the news and sharing a little bit about how we went about this journey.
Yeah, to start us off, Sally, can you tell us a little bit about Social Impact Advisors? It may be new to some people watching, and share some insights into the work that you've done and some of the projects that you're excited to share.
Great, thank you. Happy to. So Social Impact Advisors was founded in 2017 by Lynn Ferguson and I, my friend Lynn Ferguson and I, who were both working in consulting for not-for-profit organizations and for post-secondary institutions. And we thought maybe by coming together, we could have more impact in the world, and we could grow the impact that we were able to individually. So we came together to form Social Impact Advisors, and it has grown over the last 6 years or so, since 2017. And our team, the partners and our team of consultants and coaches, have been all across Canada. I think we've been in 8 provinces and 2 of the territories so far, and we've learned so much from all of our clients and our partners from across the country. As far as the work Social Impact Advisors has done, I would say that we're sector agnostic. So we don't focus on a particular sector necessarily, but we do focus on impact, and hence the name Social Impact Advisors. So the work we do with organizations and collectives is really focused on bringing out and synthesizing the great ideas of the clients we serve, the great ideas they're having in their communities, and helping them to develop a strategy that's going to help them increase the impact they're having in the world. So we provide the frameworks, we provide the tools, the synthesis, and a certain measure of accountability that moves an organization through strategy planning. And we can bridge across sectors to offer examples and ideas to people of any kind of not-for-profit organization, or any social benefit organization, I should say. So we want to help social benefit organizations achieve more impact in the world. And so the ways we work help people sort of engage with their communities, check with their stakeholders, think about their communications. We often help people implement their strategy that they set with us. So some governance training sometimes is needed, change management certainly, or organizational design. So, taking people from those early great ideas to boiling them down to a really tight strategy to then implementing it is kind of the work that we did across the country. We've had some good relationships with philanthropic foundations and with post-secondary institutions, which has been great because it connects multiple organizations together. A group of grantees or a group of partners of a post-secondary institution, they might come together and want to do something collectively for their community. So we've had a lot of fun doing collective impact projects or community development projects as well, where we have multiple organizations coming together. So that's some of what we've been doing.
Yeah, thank you, Sally, for that snapshot. I think it paints a really good picture of of all the hard work that you've all put in over the past 6 years. Danielle, coming to you, maybe you can tell us a little bit about, obviously today we're sharing this exciting announcement, but there's a lot that went into that. So tell us a little bit about how we got here and what that journey was, and how we joined these forces together.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the history's kind of goes back a while. Laridae and SIA met, and by this, of course, I mean Jonathan Bennett, the founder of Laridae, and I met Sally and Lynn a while back at a B Corp event. And over the years, we kind of kept in touch. I think, you know, Jonathan had his relationship with SIA, and then I was connecting in different ways over the years, and just kind of exploring, you know, what kind of work each company was doing, or just keeping our eye on each other, just out of mutual interest. And then last fall, Sally reached out to explore what a partnership could look like. It was kind of leading into the holidays. We were really busy, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, let's book something early January, and kind of, you know, continued on with our work. So this was interesting because I was always curious about the synergies between our work and learning more about the approaches that SIA would take in doing kind of similar work, because both our companies really focused on kind of helping organizations find strategic clarity, building some level of capacity, with this aim of driving impact, right? So, I mean, those three pieces seemed pretty consistent. But the way we get there is slightly different. So that was just interesting, and I was very curious to see, you know, what Sally had in mind with respect to the relationship moving forward. And you know, when we finally did meet, we started to explore further. You know, I learned more about what Sally was hoping in terms of her own personal goals, and yeah, just the want to make sure that the good work of SIA continues forward in a meaningful way. We at Laridae and SIA spend a lot of time talking about strategic planning, and Laridae had just completed ours. So I was worried that this was going to be like completely off the path. Like, okay, yeah, you know, let's sit with this for a bit and really think through it. So I think as I continued to explore what this relationship could mean, it just reinforced, like I felt it in my gut that like it reinforced the path that we were on, really just being able to complement and expand some of the stuff that we're already doing in a meaningful way.
Yeah, and Danielle, you've pulled on a few pieces there, but the one I want to sit with is seeing that alignment. So Sally, maybe my question for you is, what role did organizational values play in this and in the journey that got us to today's moment?
I think it was a very big role, and it was very comforting to me to be able to sort of talk about our values and our goals and what we hope this might lead to, and come to a real shared understanding. You know, I think our approaches to the ways we work with clients might be a little bit different, but they're absolutely complementary. And once we kind of uncovered that and we're able to reassure ourselves about that, it seemed really natural to think that, you know, we have different and larger pools of people we can reach if we come together, than if we stay separate, and we can offer a broader sort of suite of products or a broader sort of suite of approaches for these clients, if we come together and have more options, you know, available for them. But I do remember having some really great talks with Danielle and sort of trying to think about what is it we're trying to achieve, personally, professionally, and especially with our staff and our colleagues and partners in mind. You know, what are we trying to achieve? And I remember coming to a landing on that pretty readily. And then the fun part was telling our lawyers and accountants, okay, these are the things we want to achieve. Why don't you go make it so? And it was a nice way to approach a transaction like this, because, our lawyers and accountants were able to find ways to describe it and craft it that would reach our goals, and not have us tied down to all of those kind of officialese type considerations. We started with the values, and our advisors were able to keep us aligned with those values all the way through. That was very, very satisfying to me. And I think to Danielle, we both felt the same way. My lawyer's office actually said to me, "I've never seen such a collaborative and collegial negotiation on a share purchase in my life." So I thought, good, that's what we're shooting for, collaborative and collegial. So I'm really thrilled that that's the way it turned out.
Mm-hmm. I too appreciated the approach that we took. And it wasn't until after we were kind of in discussion and trying to figure out what this could look like, and I was chatting with my leadership coach, that I realized that we were moving forward with a principles-based approach as opposed to a transactional approach. And I had never heard it kind of in those terms before. And I'm like, okay, that sounds really good. I really like that. Because I am the type of person, I take a long time to think things through. And I imagine, Sally, at different points, you're like, okay, she's gone silent, and keep the conversation going, because I really do. I connect with people I trust or who know me well, so that they can kind of give the various angles and perspectives. So yeah, I just appreciated the flexibility and the patience at different points, that also just reinforced it for me that it felt right. And funny enough, not many people could understand our approach. So there were some people who are very business minded, and people I have tremendous respect for, that worried on my behalf because of the way we were moving through it. So I think that just goes to show how uncomfortable taking that principle-based approach can make people, because we're so used to thinking about it like, look at the numbers, look at the, map out all the risk and all the things. But I don't know, I think there was just something here. The additional thing that I think we did, or I did on this, on the Laridae side, was bringing the thinking to the Laridae team like early in the process. And I understand that like that level of conversation or transparency may increase worry on behalf of staff. I don't know. I always feel that, we have a really bright team. We have some smart individuals. They're probably seeing things that I'm not. So, talking through that with the team was really helpful, and getting their gut check on this opportunity, gather their worries, their questions, and their advice early on in the process helped to kind of push my thinking along as well. And truthfully, I was surprised at how quickly they got to understanding the opportunity and being really excited about the prospect.
I'll just add, if I can, that a similar thing sort of happened on our side of the fence. There are no fences anymore, but on our side of the fence, a similar thing happened that I was very anxious to make sure that there were no surprises for people, that people could see that this kind of thing was coming. I mean, I think everyone knew that I was hopeful that I could sort of slow down a little bit. I'm at that stage in my career where I was looking as well to make a bit of change to slow down. And so I wanted them to be aware that this might be the route we take to achieve that. And everybody, was supportive. I should say, as far as our advisors being worried on our behalf for, taking this approach to this transaction, I think I can say for the folks I was relying on, and I imagine it's true for you too, is that they came around. They felt that we had a final agreement that that protected each organization, that protected the principles of each organization quite well. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say?
I would agree. And a couple of the individuals who were really almost against this approach and just couldn't understand it have since asked to just pick my brain on how it went, and they want to learn more. And so it's, it's always kind of, it opens up the door for interesting conversation.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you both for walking us through a little bit more of that journey. Skipping ahead now and into the future, what can we expect? What exciting initiatives or developments can we see on the horizon from this relationship? Danielle, maybe you want to speak to this one, and then Sally, jump in and add your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be excited about. My hope is that through this journey, not only, you know, is this a place that the SIA team feels that they are excited to be working, you know, through Laridae and connected through our work that way. So I hope that's true, but I also hope that we are able to kind of move through this process in a way that honors the work that both Sally and Lynn did in building SIA. So when I think about, you know, what's to come, I'm excited about the idea that we get to expand our reach through continuing to work with nonprofits, but also supporting broader social purpose organizations in a different way. That to me is so very exciting, because I think there's so much value in bringing the learnings from, you know, everybody who's oriented to doing good together. And I think that those complementary ways that we go about the work with respect to finding strategic clarity, building capacity, and driving impact, it kind of broadens our tool belt. So, you know, we have different approaches for different clients that want to work through their work, either some maybe more independently with more kind of coaching and guidance versus, you know, full on outsourcing capacity to drive their work. So, you know, things like impact and strategic clarity, where there's providing that guidance, coaching tools, applying theory of change. You know, there's lots to learn here, and that I know for a team of lifelong learners is really exciting to see how we can move that into action towards impact. Mm-hmm.
That's great. And I'll just add that I feel that everyone, you know, sort of in social impact advisors, or has been in social impact advisors, or is a partner of ours or associated with ours, is, you know, is feeling as positive as I am about this new partnership and this way forward. I kind of feel that we're delivering SIA into a safe pair of hands, and that the work that we've, you know, taken this far can only get better and can only reach further. And that's a very satisfying thought at this, you know, moment of change in our history. So I'm glad to be where we are.
Yeah, glad to hear that, Sally.
What a lovely positive note to kind of wrap up our conversation today. Thank you both for sharing what is a very exciting announcement, and but also more than that, giving a little bit of the picture of how we got to that today. So to wrap us up, if you are interested in hearing more news updates directly to your inbox, we encourage you to visit laridaemc.com and sign up for our newsletter. Stay tuned for all the exciting things that are on the way from this relationship, but from our work in general.